have Hillary on 27 counts of treason. Putin bought the uranium so it didn't go to North Korea, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and then on to Iran. There's about to be a 90-day window where things get a little tough for the average citizen. An order was given to the dark ops and special forces teams. If Trump gets sick, these 4,760 people get sick the next day. So the Illuminati, Bilderbergs, Triadal Commission, Skull and Bones, and G8, all these people live in fear that Trump will cough. The Dow plunged to the satanic number of 666 points the day FISA memo was released. The deficit did the same thing back in October. Trump got into office, and he and his team noticed that there was $7 trillion missing. Obama put us $11 trillion in debt, but Trump couldn't find the $7 trillion of it. They didn't build any bridges, any airports, no buildings, no pipeline, no infrastructure, no etc., so on and so forth. Where's the $7 trillion? Trump started finding hints and things from the CIA, FBI, Interpol, etc. With the national security threat, Trump signed the International Emergency Economic Powers Act on December 21st, 2017, and expanded it on December 23rd, and then again on the 27th. Trump then froze the assets of about 9,000 people, companies, and corporations. We're talking about the pedophile rings, folks, the deep state, dark state, and the 4,000 companies that Obama bought in Africa with the U.S. taxpayers' $7 trillion. Trump froze all the assets, all the titles, worldwide. The arrests have already begun. They caught some people inadvertently by thwarting the gun smuggling operations they partook in. They grounded flights, they shut things down, but then they had to provide a story that the public would believe to explain away why there was a significant disruption. Trump put in Blackwater, SEAL Teams 2, 4, 6, Delta Force, CIA spoofs, black operative guys, and that's his security. He doesn't have the Secret Service. He's got my kind of guys. They play to win, all the time, every time, in every game. They don't necessarily give a shit as long as the good guys survive, and their mission is carried out. They issued an order to expand Guantanamo Bay to house an additional 13,000 inmates with maximum security. December 21st of 2018, the beginning of a government shutdown after a fiat US dollar was no longer being accepted in world trade, along with the border wall and the Brexit controversies. The shutdown was designed to expose the deep state while working as a cover for transition of a global economy to an asset-backed system, plus assisted in reconstructing certain U.S. government agencies that had run the cabal financial system: the U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve, IRS, CIA. On January 2nd of 2019, military tribunals began at Gitmo on over 71,000 indictments naming political and global elites. The Clintons, Obamas, the Bushes were under house arrest awaiting tribunals with charges against them, including things like capital high treason, election fraud, child sex trafficking, money laundering, misappropriation of U.S. taxpayer funds, and 9/11 crimes, and so much more. There was an estimated 80 to 140 congressmen involved in illegal activities who had been indicted, 85% to 95% of whom were Democrats. Going to January 8th, President Trump gave a speech that was 9 minutes and 11 seconds long and believed to be a prelude to the Trump declaring a national emergency after releasing the 9/11 files. A plot was uncovered on terrorist Alfonso Ulloa, organized the 15,000 plus Hondurans and thousands of Mexicans who plan to force their way into the U.S. illegally sometime around January 16th through the 22nd. Anytime. Joining then with Operation Gladio, that's already here, a nationwide secret army of foreign mercenaries, criminals, terrorists, and other soldier of fortune wannabes believed to be organized and paid for by the far left and Soros-like groups. Another reason for Trump to immediately declare a national emergency, or what some were calling maybe martial law. Around January 18th, the U.S. government would run out of money, and on Monday, January 21st, would be the end of the federal government as we know it. The real reason for this government shutdown. Now, on January 29th, the State of the Union speech, it was predicted to be destruction of the cabal financial system centered in London, which relied on U.S. taxpayer dollars and big business corporations playing around in the New York stock market to keep it all alive. The New York stock market had lost all of the 2018 gains and has been in a free fall since October 1st of 2018. Now, it is possible at any time a national emergency, the martial law that people have been talking about, it could be declared if public chaos occurred because of problems caused by the fiat U.S. dollar no longer being traded internationally. If the terrorist events at the border that I described with that Alonso Uela and his orchestrating of the 15,000 Hondurans and the Mexicans that are coming up to invade our country, combined with some false flag events, maybe the 9/11 files are to be released, affects the longest U.S. government shutdown ever recorded, and if word got out on evidence for the arrest, trials and tribunals on over the 71,000 global and political elites that began on January 2nd, involving the Clintons, Obamas, the Bushes, were said to be under house arrest, awaiting the tribunals, with charges against them including capital high treason, the election frauds, child sex trafficking, money laundering, misappropriation of U.S. taxpayer funds, and 9/11 crimes. They were an estimated 80 to 140 Congress members said to be involved in these illegal activities as well. I'm Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you worldwide. Remember, connect your own dots in logical thinking. All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for January 16th, 2019. It's Wednesday evening. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving us some of your time. Folks, we know you're busy. We know your schedules are hectic, and you need to get tidbits of information at that current time that we uncover something. Again, in the intelligence community, we look at a lot of different things. We sift through a lot of different things, and that's just how it is. You're going to get a lot of bad information. You're going to get a lot of good information. That is the way it is designed. You can't look at something and think, oh, I know this to be true, so I'm just going to stick with it. You gotta look at a lot of different things. So in our journey together in the last 11 months, again, those of you first time tonight, welcome. Please subscribe. The returning Patriots, I love you guys. It's been great. It's been great. All right, we're going to jump into a few things here. Did a few videos today that talked about the reduction in force, the RIF, the two different contracts with federal employees being laid in a situation where they're a government shutdown. We know that we've never gone over the 21 days with Clinton was the longest ever government shutdown, and we've always only had to direct the attention to the first contract that people have. You know, they normally get laid off 21 days, and then boom, you get your back pay, your furlough, and you didn't work. You know, some people didn't have to work, others do work without pay, so they act like it's a crisis. Friday that just went by last week was the first cycle of people not getting a paycheck. So it's only been like, they would have just got paid. Here it is. It's almost like 3 days, I guess we're going on a week. And I'm not saying people don't need that, but it's not some kind of huge crisis. We've had this country's been destroyed. People lost all kinds of jobs in 08. Nobody cared. Government didn't skip a beat. All right, so just keep that in mind. These people, some of them that aren't going back, they're just going to have to man up, woman up, get a job. You're not old dogs that don't know how to. I mean, if you're telling me you can't do nothing else but a government job that was maybe real cush, well, I get it. I hung around enough military bases and worked in offices with government service employees, GSs. I know the gig. I'm not saying they're all, bad jobs or bad people by any means. Lots of good people, lots of important jobs. But again, we'll get to that at another day. All right, I wanted to go over this. It's coming back up. 562. All right, post 562, folks. This is from a year ago almost. And it's the 19th of January, 2018 at 4:02. Remember this day. Now, if we were to think Mir, possibly come to this year at January 19th in a few days. So we're going over this 2 separate contracts in the government, with their union, or you can almost look at it like that. They have contracts that they have to abide by. If you're in a shutdown for under 30, you operate under this. If you go over 30, which we've never done, then you're going to operate in this other manner. That date is actually Sunday. 30 days, 22 work days comes Friday. So even though the 30 calendar days hits on Sunday, the government doesn't work Saturday, Sunday. It's just like if you get any kind of government pay, veterans pay, military, your pay, if it falls on a Saturday, you're going to get paid Friday. If it falls on Sunday, you move to Monday with that pay, all right? And when you close out a business, Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock is pretty much the end of a workday. This post is done at 4:02 p.m. 19th of January, 2018. You come to the 19th of January this year. That is Friday, right? That is Saturday. Okay, so that's lining up. I was thinking that was Friday. That's definitely even better. So at the stroke of midnight on the 19th, early that morning, we're going to enter into National Popcorn Day. So this weekend we hit Popcorn Day. We kind of come into the logistics of working under this over 30 days. Now the rifts can start, all right? The great cleansing of our government. I am just thinking that we're not going to come back up the way we were, folks. That this is what we all wanted. We're not going to come back up. We're not going to be forced into the same old game, all right? Let's just get back up. That's why you're seeing the Democrats fight so hard. Some of them arguing so hard and not being logical. You have some that I think are helping play along and just keeping it going. Helped cater this in. I mean, I don't know. Otherwise, these people are truly, truly nuts, and I believe some of them are. But man, the way Chuck and old Nancy there the other day just stood there, really, really odd to me. I'm sure to a lot of you as well. But they're odd people for sure. But almost seems like they're playing a role. Some of that stuff will never be. It's just speculation. Just speculation. Just speculation. All right, so remember this day. Is that something that we should remember? This date coming up, the Saturday, the 19th. Yeah, that could be. I'm not saying tons of things are going to happen on that day. I'm just saying it's a day to remember. National Popcorn Day. We're entering into the different way to start, they can start handing out literally 60-day, reduction in forces come Monday. Start eliminating jobs. People will be moved all around. Some of these people that are in certain areas could end up not being there anymore. well, other than being laid off, departments shut down, people dispersed all over. Their old gangs, the way they operated, wouldn't be able to work anymore. This is talking about slimming down the government, trimming off the fat, coming back up only if it's a government of the people, by the people, for the people, not this system that we're under. Usurping the Fed, usurping the District of Columbia's foreign entity power to this country. It's a treasonous act, what they did to us and how they usurped our Constitution, put themselves in between us and our own Treasury departments to print and establish our own currency, backed off something, an actual real dollar that has gold, silver, something, not just made up monopoly money. It's like, how to go to the bank yourself and get your own money out. What if there was some middleman that came, you had to go to some office, tell them that you needed money out. I need $100. All right, I'll get over there for you right away. Oh, by the way, it's $20 for me to go get it for you. Well, you don't need that. You would find that foolish and that you're wasting money if you paid attention. And that's a simplistic form of kind of what's going on. We don't need certain things in play that don't benefit us, actually hurt the country. At this point, people are begging, and even fellow Americans are begging for the government to get flipped back on. Some of these people that are catching on the Democratic side, that are the low, treasonous on their own rights and in certain levels, but they don't know what's going on, and they're just begging for the government to get turned back on as well, so it can be business as usual. They don't want to hit this 30 days. Some of them are starting to wake up to it. All right, folks, I just wanted to bring you that. I got another article I'm going to be looking at here, so if anything, I'll have another episode out here in a little bit. If not, check that out tomorrow morning, first thing. We'll do a quick look here on the keyboard just to see if anything's come out. I got 135,000 online currently, and nothing since 2673 on the 13th of Jan. Fake news control over those who do not think for themselves limits exposure of the truth. Again, these labels and titles just come from the collective thought of what the post is about. Kind of a, kind of like reading a book's back cover, right? Just reading what the book's about, what you're getting ready to get into. All right, again, appreciate all the subscribers over the last 11 months. We hit our 1 year in about 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks. So we'll be at our 1 year. It's been great. The subscribers just lets us know that you guys are, we're like-minded in ways, and whether or not you're just wanting to stay up in tune with the truth, that's perfect. But you guys have been really doing your job. You've really been sharing, getting the word out, and that's the only way the channel's going to grow. You keep doing that. I'll keep doing this. If there's ever a possibility in the future, I've been reading some comments, that we could cover the Gitmo trials. If they're not going to be aired, who knows? Of course we would. I actually got access to any military base for the rest of my life. I can get to any base. Now, not all parts of the base, if they're restricted, of course. I can get on any base, no problem. I got the ID. It's indefinite, never expires. I have full access. So that is a possibility. Now, again, I'm accessed onto any military installation. Does that mean I could just walk on with a camcorder and start doing a bunch of stuff? Probably not. I'm still going to have to go through, the PR, public relations office, fill out paperwork. But that would be a possibility. Now, again, if the right people are listening at this point, Trump, Q-Team, any of you, I would love to cover that, even if it was a secure stream that we can get, because I can do it properly from here. Otherwise, we'd have no issue going to the trials. I would cover that with great truth, put it that way. All right, again, I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless each and every one of you worldwide. Again, look for something here in a little bit. If not, I'm not going to rush on it. It'll be tomorrow. Tons of things to get into. Tons of things that we need to keep going and covering on. Hoping for we got 2 more days. Is it now? We're entering. We'll go ahead and scratch out today. So we got the 17th and the 18th to get through. At the end of business on the 18th, folks, on Friday. And I'm pretty much sticking with, we can call it the close of business on Friday, or just tickering over 12 a.m., getting into 12:01 a.m. Saturday morning. We enter into a whole new era. Uncharted waters, basically. And is a reduction of force going to start immediately? Are all the bad actors going to start getting served and arrested immediately? Have there already been some arrested? I believe so. I'm thinking even some a few years back. Maybe a year and a half ago, that we don't know about. Some of these things will not be fully uncovered to the very end, and we're going to be here to dig into all of it. Hope you join us again like you have been. Again, have a great evening. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you. We'll see you back here real soon. Next Patriot Hour update. Banking. The economy is imploding. Expect all fingers pointing at the Fed. Central banking is the single biggest threat for humanity. The promise of socialism is the justification to plunder. The economy is in a meltdown. The world's monetary system is being deliberately destroyed. Consequently, the economic signals that guide the markets, which in a free market are supposed to represent the supply and demand decisions of billions of people, have up to now all been totally false, despite frequent denials by the central banks and most mainstream economists. These distortions in the market are a result of intentional manipulations of currency and precious metal values around the world by these central bankers, crafted in response to demand for competing export opportunities, easy money, and cheaper credit by governments. The world is indoctrinated to believe that paper money, the symbol of wealth, is that can deliver all the benefits of the free market, while gold is a barbarous, useless metal. This, of course, isn't true. All central banks are owned by Rothschild. All these banks are responsible for the economic problems. Therefore, all these banks must be brought down together. In other words, we must bring down the entire Rothschild banking system. We must break away from the central banking system and return to a people's currency system by implementing a people's economy. It should be an economy in which we, the people, are in charge and in full control of the money supply. Like our Constitution says. Most people overlook this aspect of the economy, but this monetary system is a great part of the deep state's power. By controlling the currency system of every country, the people of the world are easily controlled, with economic growth instituted on the base of fraud and corruption. That's the reason why these central banks don't want to be audited. The banking system is riddled with waste, fraud, abuse, crime, corruption, blackmail, deception. And when one takes a deeper look into the governments that are factually based on this Rothschild system, it's all about crime and corruption. It is the exact same thing that takes place in the financial sector. What needs to be done is the entire economic system needs to be brought to its knees, like they've brought countries, while all the crimes of the complicit banksters needs to be exposed. But before they are brought down, Trump is continually blaming the central bank for the bad economy, over and over again. Why? In order to waken people up, so they are awake to these truths and eventually better understand and see this gigantic crime network for what it is, working against humanity. Meanwhile, Trump has tricked the MSN, mainstream media, to go along with him, where they are too now blaming the Fed banked system for deteriorating the economy. It is impossible to improve the current economy with a financial system that is based on this debt. The whole system has to be destroyed. The power must be given back to the people, since all financial schemes are malicious, Rothschild inventions, including institutions like the BIS, IMF, the ECB, the WB, the BOJ, so on, so forth. By raising the interest rates, the system will break down, at which time the focus can be shifted to the Fed, the ECB, the BOJ, etc. Central banking is the single biggest threat for humanity. The central bank is the biggest threat to the world. The amount of control and power that a central bank has in each country is simply off the charts. No one else has so much power, enabling them to make or break countries by putting countries into debt. Matter of fact, the only thing that gives our money value is how much of it is in circulation. Therefore, the power to regulate the money supply is also the power to regulate its value, which is also the power to bring entire economies and societies to its knees. Look no further than in the 1930s here in America. Now the central banks consequently do exactly what they want. Once a country is put into debt, for then they have the leverage to control them. They know this very well. They've studied it, they've practiced it, and they've done it in real time for centuries. This truly is the single biggest threat to the world. That is the reason this financial system has got to be destroyed, while at the same time making sure that never again does a central bank wiggle its way into existence anywhere. The people have a right to coin their own currency. Nowadays, governments are devaluing the money constantly, causing everything that people have worked for to disappear right before their very eyes. We simply need to return to a real asset-backed monetary system without a private central bank, and let the people take control. Now keep in mind, the Federal Reserve Central Bank is the last remaining game of the deep state. The Federal Reserve is its backbone. Reports suggest that the alliance is preparing for one last push on the deep state by proposing to end the Fed. Now this termination will be the final blow that will render the deep state powerless, ensuring their complete demise. There's no turning back for them this time. The course of humanity will be changed in the blink of an eye. It will be shocking, and many who are oblivious to the truth will be overwhelmed and most likely in disbelief. The beginning of a very painful process of awakening for those who are not yet awake. I'm Michael. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you worldwide. Where we go one, we go all. And remember, this is not about religions or party affiliation. Evil is everywhere. There are no drawn lines, no boundaries. Good versus evil. There is nothing more precious than our children. The choice to know will be ultimately yours. These people are sick, and good will always defeat evil. And we understand that there is extreme fatigue and frustration regarding the wheels of justice and how they move slow. But exclude your emotion and your personal desire. Instead, use logic and critical thinking based on situational awareness. What does it take to undo a lifetime of evil and corruption and infestation to the highest levels in the span of less than 2 years with a corrupt DOJ and FBI and etc. and so on. This is process and planning of law and order, and military operation at its finest. God bless.